Luke Hodge versus Lewis Roberts-Thompson. So that's going to be a fascinating battle.
Swans by 5 points to start this second half. Mitchell almost a clearance. Bumped off it. McGlynn had it stolen. Young came in off the side of the square. Rolled. No prior opportunity. Through Sewell's legs. Stops it. Traps it. Keeps it. And the umpire will bounce it.
If Lewis Roberts-Thompson's instructions probably will be now to take Hodge right back to the goal square, but he's actually coming up to the stoppage, which I'm not sure that's the right option for Lewis, because Hodge is one of the best distributors and ball users. Now Hodge has dropped back onto Adam Good, so I would think Lewis Roberts-Thompson should be jogging straight back to the goal square.
One thing Luke Hodge will do is he'll read the game. He'll leave his opponent and back himself to read the footy a little bit better.
McGlynn heard the umpire touch ball. Hale attacked it. Stratton, Whitecross, squarer. Franklin. Richards right with him again. Puopolo back of that contest. Little tap back. Mantner read it. Wrapped up. No prior opportunity, which means ball up.
Thank you. Thanks, Marty. Thank you, Marty.
Alistair Clarkson.
Yeah, fascinating. It looks like they have decided to not give the Swans an extra player. As you mentioned, a 7-man forward line.
And I like that move, because you don't want Sydney to get back to the stage they had in the first term, where they felt they could control the footy and get that overlap.
Two coaches here tonight, old teammates from their days at North Melbourne. John Longmire and Alistair Clarkson know each other well. It's a big battle for them as well. You can see in the middle of it, Josh Kennedy. His grandfather coached them both. The great John Kennedy Sr. when they were both at North Melbourne. Pike, Hale, Franklin, third man up. Hale to Burgoyne, star of the second quarter show. Stolen back again, Young almost threw that away. Puopolo dragged down Shaw, slip tackle, trip, free kick, top of the square, and the Hawks have not led in this game. The Swans have led from the outset, and this for the lead for the first time tonight.
It's just determination. He said, I'm running, I'm backing myself in, and I'll break this tackle. And in the end, the Shaw tackle was initially good. It just slid lower and lower as Puopolo tried to power his way through it. Very short run up.
To silence. It gives the Hawks the lead for the first time.
Yeah, no, you're right there, Jace. It was just a determination that actually milked that free kick, because Shaw was right on top of him as he took the ball from that last stoppage and was able to make the initial tackle. Here it is here. He's right on him, right on top of him. He was able to make the initial tackle. Puopolo just kept on working, kept on moving his legs, and just slid down. And Clarko, as you can see, is quite happy with that start.
By the looks of things, he might have just felt a little niggle after he landed after that ankle tap as well.
Xavier Ellis, the sub for Hawthorn, yet to be used. Mitch Morton, the sub for Sydney, yet to be used. Kennedy, another clearance. Mumford, Lewis Roberts-Thompson, both down there in one-on-ones. Stratton kept it in front. Wobbles it to the outer side. Whitecross could take it to the line if he wants to, and he looked around and realised that was the best option.
There it is, there's Ellis there. Two different types of subs, aren't they, Jace? One's going to be playing in multiple positions, and you'd think the only position Mitch Morton can play is that forward role, but yeah, he could come on and give them some spark and kick a couple of goals.
Very similar in terms of the games played this year. Morton in for just his second game of 2012, and Xavier Ellis in for just his third game of 2012. That's where he hurt it, yeah. Stretched the knee. O'Keefe. Stratton stands under it. Hodge. Guerra looks around. Jetta shuts him down. Quick time, and then overcommitted there. Allows him to kick to the wing. Nice collect by Smith on the run, and he's got Suckling on the overlap. Who does he want with the left? He wants Franklin up. No free. He was buffeted. He wanted the free. Rough head. Slips out a handball. Shields toward goal. It's coming back. boy! This is a different Hawthorn after quarter time. They lead by 7.
Yeah, and it all started from a missed tackle with Lewis Jetta on the back line.
Yep.
John Longmire there has seen a massive turn around the game, but Jetta just missed a tackle on Guerra. Guerra got it out the front of Isaac Smith, and then a really good hard running from Suckling. Not a great kick. He's normally a fantastic kick, but not a great kick. Buddy was probably stiff not to get a free kick there, and a bit of a fumble, nice handball, and that's a really good one-step round the corner snap at goal from Liam Shields. Terrific.
Stunned silence here at the SCG. Shaped all week as maybe the biggest home and away game of the season, and right now for the Swans and Hawthorn it is living up to the expectations. Lewis Roberts-Thompson, he's hardly seen it. They get the clearance and they can cut it back to a one-point game. Hodge dismayed.
Yeah, well, it was a really dodgy hand pass in the middle of the ground. They got their hands on it first, the Hawks, but it was a flip
Lewis,
over the top.
Yeah.
A bit of a speculator. You're better off throwing that on the boot. And Luke Hodge, as we said, does sit off his opponent a little bit. He'll read the play, but that quick kick left him with nothing.
He's been ultra accurate this year. 21 goals, 8. Lewis Roberts-Thompson keeps it low, makes it a one-point game.
Yeah, Roberts-Thompson's got to take him back to the goals, but you mentioned Hodge just likes to play off his man. That's his strength. But here he is in the centre bounce. Lewis had it and just coughed it up. It was a shocking handball. And then a low, not sure that was directed at Lewis Roberts-Thompson, but certainly his Sewell here. See, just his leg there going into, he's now off the ground, so the leg going into the side of Craig Bird.
So Brad Sewell off with a slight problem, and Puopolo also has come to the bench in this third term with a slight niggle. And the ball up, Kendi again, just keeps on keeping on to Jack. Pike from behind, John Makers held his ground. Bird, half smother off the side of the boot, Birchall. David King.
I think there's big news down here, boys. He's getting some strapping on the leg here, Brad Sewell. Certainly a right knee issue. It was definitely strained in that last contest you just saw on the replay there. This could be big news for the Hawks finals campaign.
Yeah, so he's out for more than just the second half here at Hanbury. They've got the West Coast Eagles next week, Hawthorn, and even if they win tonight, they might still have to win that to finish in the top 2. Here it is again.
Just the follow through of the kick. You watch him, he picks it up and throws it on the boot, and the leg goes through and just goes into the back of Bird.
Bruce squeezes it out. Lewis got it from Roughhead. Franklin, unkind bounce, but he's still away. He's running towards goal. Burgoyne taps it, and Puopolo kicks it. Franklin's direction. Smith right with him. Ball bounced kindly for Richards. He was caught trailing behind Franklin, and it set up for him. Smith to Matner, to the boundary umpire. Mitchell's ball. Have had a few injury worries in the lead up to this. Sam Mitchell back from his calf injury. Gibson back as well from his ankle. And now a couple with worries on the sideline for Hawthorn. But they lead by a point.
Choosing to kick on the left foot.
Yeah. Franklin jumps. Brust stays down. Nearly had it. Shields. Puopolo back on. Back in the heat of the kitchen. Smith going nowhere.
It's hard to see the game really breaking open now because it's just going to be one-on-one contest, stoppages all over the ground.
Yeah, look, Sewell doesn't look like a guy that's not going to come back on there, does he? He looks reasonably relaxed as he's getting his knees strapped, so you'd expect him to come back on the ground.
Franklin took them on. Gunston toward goal. And it bends a little too far for his liking. Matner. Full house here at the SCG. Seen their team 38 points up. Have their lead taken away. Hawthorn now by 2. Goods out of sight. And here was the star of the show in round 5 when the Swans came from behind to win. 3 goals in the second half in that game in Launceston. Stratton takes it to the line.
They did that well from the kick out. They loaded up on one side with O'Keefe, with Mumford and with Goods, and they were always going to go that way. They kicked short, but it was to a left footer in Smith who could play on and kick long down the line. They were always going to find one of those marking targets.
Lewis from the flick down, hard attack, and he flicks it off. Young, and Franklin's got a couple to beat here. Richards edges him under it, and Grundy was wise to it. The old ploy.
Geez, the ball use to Franklin hasn't been great, which is normally even that kick. It's not going to be lace out, but it wasn't even to the advantage side, as we see Sewell there. Looks like ready to come back on.
Wants to test it at least. Mumford, double palm. Kennedy, Hanbury, Bird. Reid and Gibson. Handball from Reid, put O'Keefe under pressure, and it's taken to the line, and it's again pressure possession after pressure possession, and that one called ball by the umpire. Said that he had prior opportunity to dispose of it legally. Smith. Suckling. Keeps it low to Young. McLean, and he shakes him. Runs to 60, wants Franklin, hits Franklin.
Well, that's the first one you've spoken about, Ruse. You said the delivery hasn't been great. That's the first time that Franklin's been able to really lose Richards. He propped, it was like he was going to go back. Richards stopped, Franklin came again, and Young just normally kicks long, but he saw the short one on and chipped it beautifully.
It was a good option.
Brad Sewell's just made his way back onto the ground. He's going to have one little run here and see how that knee holds up.
Franklin told he has 20 seconds, 45% the probability from this spot, all players. Never going to work that back.
Probably the first time also, Jace, they were able to spread Sydney from down back. They went from one side of the ground to the other. We saw a great kick from Suckling out the front of Young, and then a nice entry inside forward 50. That's their preferred game style.
Malcheski hoping for Reid, shrugs Stratton, who was good enough to get back with the fist. Reid had a good first term.
Sorry, Dwayne. They almost look like they've gone one-on-one at the kick-ins. When Sydney are kicking in, it looks like every Hawthorn player's got a man.
Roughhead slips Mumford down to Burgoyne. Too slick for Mitchell. Sewell gets a possession, hobbles a little after that.
Oh, great tapping.
Flick back in. Lewis against the boundary line. Can't even score. Eyes of the football world on this one right now. Top spot up for grabs. And these two teams have, in essence, shown the best and the worst of themselves. Reid, almost.
And now it's the Swans really struggling to get it outside their defensive 50. It was completely opposite in the first quarter. There's no question the Hawks, the second quarter and early part of this quarter, have really become a lot more aggressive defensively and made it a lot harder for the Swans to move the ball.
Roughhead. White cross. Nicely done.
Work.
Yeah.
Sewell kick smothered. Goods. Which one-on-one does he want? Fist from Suckling. Stratton clever. Suckling again. Sean Makers trying to show some poise. You knew Burgoyne was there. Hands it up. White cross. He wants Young on the open side. Young was blinded by the lights there. He waited for it to go over his head. Tracks it down. Uses his speed. Holds it up. Birchall. Franklin. Richards takes him out. He kept Franklin goalless in round 5. Ted Richards. If you've joined us late, Franklin now has 3, all in the second term, and he has a spell. It's looked okay in his first game back from 6 weeks off. Goods.
I don't know how many throw-ins Sam Mitchell's gone for, but he went for that one.
Looks like Adam Goods has moved up onto the ball too. It's the last couple of stoppages, unless he's just that half forward now pushing up, the last couple of stoppages is right up the ground.
Hodge, Guerra, Smith, Whitecross combined. And again they set it up in hope. The fists come. Disciplined Swans defence. Johnson, Hanbury, Trying to keep his feet and keep it alive, but to his detriment. Whitecross found the line.
Just a ground level here, Ruzi. It looks as if the Swans have stopped their running off the half-back flank. Reece Shaw's been kept quiet this term. Haven't quite got that overlap going yet.
It does look like the Hawks have gone one-on-one, Kingy. So a little bit opposite that we saw in round 5 at Launceston, where the Swans chose to go one-on-one in the second half. So at the moment, there's not too many free Swans players.
Good news is Sewell is over that contest and he looks confident on the knee. As I said earlier, re-signed. It's going to be a Hawk for life in essence. Coming off a 35 possession game last week as well, so they need him to stay in good form. Guerra floats it up a little. Grundy, third man up.
That's the kick they've got to avoid. To an outnumbered Hawthorn player in the air where there's a body-on-body contest and the loose third man just comes up and takes the uncontested mark.
Johnson.
Yeah, well, Marty Mattner's dropping off pretty much at every stoppage. So if they're going to bomb it out like they did then someone will roll off and affect the spoil or take the mark as Grundy did then.
Hodge did well on Mumford. Side by side, height advantage Mumford. Hodge forced him to the line.
Reece Shaw back onto the ground. He was stuck on the bench for the best part of 10 minutes there. He just couldn't get back onto the ground, unfortunately. But Malcheski's just come off and he's gone on. Sorry, Mattner's just come off and he's gone on.
Hale, but down to O'Keefe. Kennedy again clears the congestion. It's out of play.
He's a pretty important player for Sydney, Reece Shaw. You wouldn't want to see him sitting on the bench for too long.
Well, he does provide them that run and carry off half back. So now down the other one, we've got Luke Hodges, the one that's sitting off the stoppage. And he's obviously a dangerous, creative player. We can see him backing out the back of there, right in the Swans Swans forward 50 as he's coming up now. So they're outnumbered, the Swans, as the Hawks would be at the other end, I would suggest.
Luke Hodge directing traffic. As is the umpire with the ruckman. Down to Goods, as Ruzi told you, on the ball now. Hanbury, Shaw, O'Keefe, Lewis Roberts-Thompson and Gibson. Oh, clean bowls, Gibson. Lewis Roberts-Thompson runs onto it. Stratton with the bump. The cavalry arrives for Hawthorn. Sean Makers to Guerra. Spears it to half-back. Gunston made a contest, but it went straight to McVeigh. Inside 50. Good thump, Sean Makers. Down to McGlynn, though. High to the square. Roberts-Thompson up. Trunch. Off hands. Reed. O'Keefe. Just out of his reach. Goods. Surely put it in the book. Tackled. Got it on the boot. Missed it.
Might have been a handball opportunity there as well. But some desperate defence.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. He's tried to step around, and he's a big man, Adam Goods. It was a terrific tackle.
Hawks cling to their lead. Birchall. Called to go Suckling. Sean Makers.
Haven't seen them able to do this too often. Just the little chip kicks and keep hitting targets.
18 minutes gone, third term in this battle for top spot. Birchall. Hawks clinging to a 3-point margin. Fantastic attack, Suckling, but he left it behind. Jack just as committed to Kennedy, to Pike. Sweeping kick, won't make it to Goods. Hodge, you wouldn't expect anything else.
Yeah, the entries both ends now pretty sloppy. Both teams are struggling to find a target inside their forward 50.
Franklin.
This is the kick. This is the critical kick now.
Left that for Suckling. Protected him. Called him in. Kick not so good. Smith. Went for Franklin. Richards right on the spot. Shields puts it back to the hot spot. Might be Roughhead's turn. Doesn't get a run at it. Off hands. Bruce. He's hardly seen it. And he misses.
This is a good crumb. Great clean hands, but just the finish. Just brought it back too far. But again, just an entry that doesn't give the forwards a real opportunity to mark the ball. So neither team's finding a really easy avenue into goal at the moment.
Shaw to Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Tight to the boundary. Hodge wants to keep it alive. Jetta was held before he took possession.
Yeah, I think it's a fair decision. He was terrified he was going to take off Brad Sewell, so he just grabbed a hold early.
Goods buffeted there. Pleads at the umpire for a free.
Just see he's got hold of the arm before the ball even gets there.
And who's holding who? Had a little bit of Sewell's jumper as well. crowd starting to find voice again. Sewell dives in, scoops it out. Pike cuts it off, turns it over though. Young, Hale, Sewell play on advantage. Would have been a free turnover.
The whistle went just as he was kicking it, didn't it? That's a tough call.
Grundy to Smith.
That was a risk. Smith taking off and leaving McVeigh.
Short of McVeigh to McGlynn. Reid wants it long.
Got Mumford calling for it long too.
Yeah, Mumford's going to be the one. In the pocket, has the reach. Burgoyne, clever fist. He fisted it to the boundary. He killed it rather than keeping it alive. Everybody enjoying this one at the SCG. The finals preview. We won't be back here if they play in Sydney in a couple of weeks' time. It'll be at ANZ Stadium. They're enjoying it here in this beautiful weather. Ball knocked to the back of the pack. Gibson. Schoenmakers needs a good kick. Smith. Fantastic contest, Brust.
I'll tell you what, that was a good kick from Schoenmakers. That was an excellent kick. We had a 50-metre kick, pinpoint, just lobbing right on top of the boundary line, and a good spoil.
Top two so important to finish top two, end of the season. Home final, first up, double chance. Goods from the pocket, from the angle, Mumford.
He nearly read the intercept, Jetta, didn't he?
He was flying there, Jetta, wasn't he?
21 and a half gone third term.
Just starting to get some easy ball in this quarter here. The Hawks 44 uncontested possessions to Sydney's 23. Just starting to get their chip game going down back and really starting to light up into some space here, their running game.
Schoenmakers again.
It's certainly noticeable from up here, King. That kick there, even from Guerra to Schoenmakers, wasn't available in the first 45 minutes of this game.
Franklin up, it's bumped under it. Gunston, Franklin, no one's in the square. He shows it, he's caught, dragged down, disposed of it legally according to the umpire. Brust, Hale, Shields, high, rough head, full forward, can't mark it, good fist. Johnson with the 1-2 at Grundy. Matner, Shaw, through Smith, it'll work. McVeigh, O'Keefe, using it well, Jack. You're seeing the benchmark in some respects right now. McVeigh long, Goods, got it.
That's the matchup you wanted. It was Guerra that had to cover Adam Goods, and he was running back with the flight of the foot. He didn't know where Goods was. Just broke it open through the middle of the ground. It's been tough at both ends trying to find easy passage forward.
Well, Roughhead down the other end versus Grundy. Great spoil from Grundy, and the ball goes down the other end of the ground.
So 60% the probability from this spot on this ground, all players. Adam Goods for the lead back. Yes. And the crowd find voice again.
It was a very critical spoil by Grundy on Roughhead, but once again, both teams not having great forward entries. The one coming into Roughhead wasn't a super kick. There it is here. Good tackle and chase by. Not sure that's a legal handle, but he tried anyway. And there it is. Good run here. Follow-up run by McVeigh. And just a really good one-on-one contest by Adam Goods on Guerra. Tough for Guerra there. Out.
He was the key when the Swans came from behind against the Hawks to win in round 5. 3 second-half goals. Could he be the key again, Adam Goods? Touch play on from the clearance. Fantastic attack from Shields, but he's dragged down. Hanbury straight down the middle. Parker bump. Hodge experience. And Burgoyne can go. Franklin wants it long. He gets what he wants. Can he get a run out of it, though? He's got a couple to beat. Almost. Malcheski wrapped up by Lewis. Didn't have prior opportunity. High contact, free kick, Swans ball.
Just put the leg on him, Franklin.
Malcheski to take it.
Don't know that it was intentional, but he was just trying to pick up the ball and He actually burrowed underneath Franklin Malcheski, didn't he? There's not much you can do there.
Not much Buddy could do there.
Mumford with Schoenmakers right with him with the fist. Suckling searches for the line. 25 gone. Third term, 3:48 left.
Brucey, do you think the Swans have to do anything about Luke Hodge playing loose man at the moment down back?
Well, all the games like it is, I guess they're 3 points in front. He's certainly a creative player. There's no question about that. I think what they've got to do is try and drag him back to the goal square.
McVeigh, McGlynn, Kennedy, Bird all had a touch on it. Free kick, Hodge off the ball.
Interesting, Buddy's not even leading now, Jace. I don't know whether it's a tired thing because he hasn't played, but he hasn't. I've noticed the last two entries, he hasn't led. He's actually waved the ball. Sorry, waved at the ball carrier and just said kick it in long. So,
but I think also because they've got that spare man in defence with Hodge playing loose at the other end, they want to get it in as deep as they can and not let that turnover happen up around the 50-metre arc.
Roughhead and Pike down to Gunston. Quick snap goal. 9-point margin in favour of the Hawks.
I just think it's going to be one of those games, Jace, where it's just taking. There's John Longmire. He'd be sort of wanting to know what happened in this defensive stoppage because the Swans pride themselves on these situations.
Gee, it was good body work from Roughhead to get the ball back inside.
And a really good clean hands by Gunston. There wasn't a lot of time and space. I think Hanbury was certainly, whether he's his direct opponent, he was the one that was nearest to him, but really good clean hands from Gunston. Didn't fumble it, so gave himself a step and kicked a nice snap goal.
3-point margin in favour of the Hawks. Scoreboard was slick there. And Gunston, 10-10-70 to 10-7-67, starting to have an influence as well. Mitchell's free. Roughhead.
Gee, that was one he'd normally snappily got the run and jump at it.
O'Keefe. Roughhead strips him of it, wants to have another crack at it. Had it, lost it, dropped it, gave it. Kennedy.
It is hot.
Schoenmakers called into it. 70 plays 67.
Really good vision.
Lewis hands it off. Birchall long. Gunston off hands. Hale about to pounce. White cross from the pocket, and he misses.
Gee, it is hot. There's pressure on, so he can make the most of their half opportunities at either end.
Yeah, that looks like both teams are going to continue just to bomb the ball to the top of the square. Yeah.
They don't want those quick rebound turnovers, so they're driving it in long.
The outer side. Goods wants the 1-2 with Jetta. He was held up after he handballed, wanted a 50. Jetta takes off regardless. Shows a couple and then pumps it. Lewis Roberts-Thompson up from behind. Schoenmakers down.
Great effort.
Good crumb, good tackle. Bird pounces around the body, back to the hot spot. Hodge got a hand on it. That was enough. Schoenmakers toward the wing. The temperature's rising in this one. 1 minute 40 left to three-quarter time. Jetta, McVeigh squeezes the kick. LRT.
Gee, he's got good vision too, hasn't he, McVeigh?
Maybe just beyond his range, he knows it.
Looked like there were some holes and some options, but again, going to pump it long.
Keeps it low for Reed to jump. Goods is there. Reed's got hand to it. Hodge, clever. 1 minute 18 left to three-quarter time. Not a spare seat in the house here at the SCG. Top spot up for grabs. And we're still no closer, really, to knowing who's going to win it. And maybe edge closer to the minor premiership. 71 plays 67. And Alistair Clarkson about to make his way downstairs. Sewell, fist on. Smith. Hawks getting numbers back. Young says, let's hang on, boys. Let's take it easy. Lewis. Inside a minute. Shields. And we're down to 40. Young. One last roll of the dice here with a long kick forward, but it's wide. Richard stands under it.
Jesus, wasn't a great kick there.
No, it's a poor kick, and you give Sydney one last chance to rebound it. Will they take a risk, or will they play safe down the line?
Gibson, Goods, both there. Crush it down. Needs to be quick, Young.
Oh,
not with that kind of kick.
He missed it.
Scoop up. Kennedy, McGlynn. He went short, and that should do.
Very rare that you see a bloke nearly have an airy with his natural foot.
It is.
He's going to have a
Great
crack.
shot.
Come on, LRT.
Why not?
That would have been a big goal.
Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground, three-quarter time. And the story so far, big game atmosphere, first versus second on the ladder, perfect conditions. Lance Franklin was back, first game in 6 weeks, but it was all the Sydney Swans in the opening quarter. They opened up a 26-point lead at quarter time, led by 38 points at one stage, and then the Hawks started to hit back. It's been a great comeback for Mitch Morton in some respects. 12 games for the West Coast Eagles, 59 games for Richmond, and now in his second game for the Sydney Swans. Final term in this first versus second battle for top spot on the AFL ladder, with 1 round left in the home and away season after this. Mitchell with the clearance. Grundy got there, left it behind. Ridden, free kick for in the back.
Looks like Buddy's just stretching there, Jace, too. Look at him there. He's just stretching his calves. So he's cramping already, and that might be the reason why he's just standing inside the forward 50 with pointing and not really moving in the last couple of entries in the last quarter.
Pike to Morton, the man we spoke of. Long, Reed, inside 50, got 4 to beat. Sewell, back of the pack. Can't take it through. Goods the smother. That's as good as taking it through.
It is. It's actually a good result for
another bad
no
result
one to
for the
kick to.
Herrera straight down the middle. Schoenmakers. The fist from Matner. Kennedy, unkind bounce, Burgoyne. Can't find a target. Shield stumps it on. Richards gets there before Roughhead. Handball not so good. Shaw made it okay. To Bird, McVeigh. Shaw, Bird, O'Keefe. Thought about nailing it from there. Goes to McGlynn.
It could have gone either way there. The Hawks had a chance, but they just had a couple of fumbles, didn't control the footy, and then the quick rebound. Slick hand pass by the Swans, and he had a decision to make, Ben McGlynn, because he was in space. He could have played on, but I reckon you're much better off if you're in range going back and having a set shot.
For the lead back. And this is to the near side. 2-point game.
Really strange run up. I mean, he made the distance easy, but he ran way out to the right and hooked the ball across the body, which is what players tend to do when they feel like they're outside their kicking range.
Going to win that trade. McGlynn playing well for the Swans, and Stratton and Suckling, the 2 players Hawthorn got with the draft picks they traded him for. Birchall, Smith.
He doesn't have much long up the line.
They've been able to switch a bit more in the second half than what they did in the first quarter, that's for sure. And here it is. It's just opened up a bit now. We see Gibson going out the wing there.
Hodge finds him. 50-metre pass with precision. Mitchell. And he pumps it. It's touched. Hale should get it. And now he tries to convince the umpire that it wasn't touched. I think he faked his sincerity fairly well there, Hale. Maybe he didn't know. Kennedy. Reed's got Schoenmakers with him. Schoenmakers, a little hand, touched the back. Umpire missed it. Guerra. Sewell.
Mitchell just didn't go back off the mark before at all, did he? It was a strange sort of almost a play on, and got touched, and Hale was by himself and marked the ball, but
well, it's the sort of night that David Hale's had. He's got his hands to a few and dropped them, and the one that he does take has been touched off the boot.
Lewis Roberts-Thompson done for the night. Morton on. Throw-in beats both ruckmen. Jetta gets there at full tilt. Handball not so good. Schoenmakers. Hodge. Caught by Smith.
Great tackle.
Kicked it whilst on his back. Got away with it. Sewell wrapped up, dragged down. Suckling, Whitecross on the full.
It's a couple that he's kicked out in the full on this side of the ground, just trying to roost it too hard.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. You just need a controlled, even under pressure, just a controlled drop punt down the line. He tried to kick the cover off that with a barrel.
McVeigh back to Shaw. Gallops away. Smith. Goods runs to the open side. Really had to get the skates on.
Oh, they're on here.
He could line up. He tries the spear pass. Morton flicks it out to Pike. He leaves it. Good option. O'Keefe better at centering it. Not a great job though. Bird crunches it down. Stratton kick half smothered. Hodge hurriedly. Sydney free kick. It's going to be Grundy's ball. Chop the arms was the call from the umpire.
Now, most of these kicks have just been going long bombs to the top of the square, so neither team's really been able to find a short target inside 50.
Doesn't kick goals often.
Just chips it to the hot spot.
Disciplined centering kick. Crushed by Gibson. Suckling off the deck. Good option. Might be coming back. Richards at full pace. Stripped. Well played. Bruce just stole it from Malcheski. Gunston not the equal of it though. Hanbury back against the grain.
Critical turnover.
Knock 15 from Matner's boot to Parker. Takes some time. Shows some poise. Johnson. Kennedy. Back to Smith. Middle of the ground. Told to go. Sends it wide. Pike's out there. Got rid of Hodge. Took a legal mark according to the umpire. Was in good form last week.
This is too big and strong there. Just threw him out of the way.
Tough ball for Hodge coming in. Here it is here.
Gee, hands it back.
That may have been a free kick just slightly.
It's a woeful decision.
The double hand. That's a free kick in anyone. But it doesn't matter what the rules are.
Who's to say he can't kick it from here? Not quite. Near side. Cuts it back though. It's a 1-point game.
Yeah, it's really tightened up, hasn't it? Neither team, a lot of pressure. There it is here. He's got one hand in the back, one hand in the side. Nice shove, but well, that's okay. Give the Canadian one.
Matner from behind. McVeigh keeps it alive. Malcheski looks up. Pass target.
Yeah,
Good
kick. Really good kick.
I thought the error came from the kick out.
Yeah.
You kick to a 50-50, but there were also extra Sydney players at ground level, and the ball, if it wasn't marked, was always going to come back. And you can see Suckling just a shake of the head, an apology there. Here he took the wrong option. And Adam Goods, as you said earlier, Dwayno, he only has to have a few possessions, kick a few goals. He turned the game down in Launceston. He could do it again tonight. Only 14 possessions, 1 goal to his name.
for the lead back.
Beautiful. Nice kick.
Doesn't get any better than that. Swans are back in front.
Yeah, no, you're right about the kicking. Just now, every decision is just going to be critical now for both sides. We see here, I don't know, it's a falcon from Marty Matner, and then really good play there by McVeigh. Outnumbered. This is a smart kick. Really good vision, good awareness from Malcheski just to hit Goods. And Goods' second half's been really productive. He's starting to get in the game, 15 possessions and 2 goals. He certainly is a critical player in this team.
Sydney chant rings around the Sydney cricket ground. Swans, who led by 38 points earlier tonight, back in front by 5. Wobbly bounce, not recalled. Pike the clearance. Mark at half forward is good. Morton. Goods is on the move. That's ignored. He heads in the Reed direction. He should get the jump. He's up. And crumbs and drop kicks it.
Oh, missed
and
it.
misses.
I think he fumbled it as he went to grab it and then fumbled it and then thought, hang on, I better sink the slipper into it. So it was going to be an easy run into an open goal. There it is there, just a little fumble.
pressure has been intense in this game from the outset.
Hawks have made their substitution, boys. We have Whitecross off and Xavier Ellis substituted into the game.
Pike and Roughhead go at that one. Hodge gathers the crumb. Wants Sewell on the run. Franklin, one-on-one. Franklin, Richards. Franklin, front spot. Richards wearing him. Franklin to his advantage. Richards still with him. Takes into the line. Franklin keeps it in. Kick okay. Puopolo can't shake the tackle. Got to be ball.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That can't be the decision. Although he's got one in the eye, but surely it looked like John Longmire can't believe it. It looked like he'd had an opportunity holding the ball. And obviously there's late contact to the eye. And this is where umpires give the ball an eternity to come out of the contest.
He spun around 360.
You've got to reward the good tackle. Now, there's no doubt he got one in the eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would have thought holding the ball was the first free kick.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Now, he kicked one at the other end off 2 steps. Very short run-up. See if he does the same.
To the boos to level the scores. It's all tied up, 77 apiece.
I look forward to a replay of this one because it's brought the crowd alive.
Well, here it is here.
It's a great tackle. That's ball. That's ball all day. And then it's O'Keefe coming in.
It's clumsy by O'Keefe, but it's got to be holding the ball before that, surely.
John Longmire cannot believe it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a poor decision. Anyway.
From the moment we arrived here in bright sunshine, you knew the football gods were keen for a big one to the side top spot. Scores are level, all square, halfway through this final term. A clearance to half forward, Guerra. Gathers and goes. Brust, one-on-one, Matner right with him. Half a knuckle on it, and it rolls across the line.
Yeah, like Brent Guerra's game out of defence.
Yeah,
He's run hard as well. He's just, a couple of times he's seen the ball, ignored the traffic and just said, I'm taking it on.
Roughhead to Sewell, centering kick, discipline, Grundy stood his ground.
Good strong mark.
Parker. Showmakers has to jump. Reed was right there. Young keeps it in, then fumbled it. Burgoyne wrapped up, dropped it. Play on.
Young, that was a strange one from Young.
Parker, McGlynn, Bird. The 1-2, McGlynn wants a pass target. Hanbury crashes the pack. Jack over the top. McVeigh should nail it. Swans by goal.
You talk about fumbles. Clinton Young didn't know what he was doing. There's the courage that's cost Josh Gibson a whack. Clinton Young had the ball and then just threw it on the ground. And that left Burgoyne under pressure. The turnover, you can just see a great contest here. He gets crunched and lands flat on his back, Gibson. But Jack roved it beautifully. Hand pass over the top. And a good goal to McVeigh. Just been a good contest.
Yeah, you called it. Young was basically no one around him, and I don't know what happened. He sort of fluffed it and then dropped it, and then the Swans go down and kick the goal. Great crumb by Kieran Jack. Great attack by Gibson, though. Just a terrific effort.
6 points to margin. A ton of time left in this, though. The Sydney chant rings around the SCG again from the thump down. Burgoyne gathers. Lewis, 70 from goal. No one's in the square. Grundy gets back.
So this is where I just think the roughhead ruck hurts him a bit, you know. And I know he's been a terrific player and they haven't got any other alternatives, but it just leaves just Franklin the only one. Franklin thinks off the ground now and he got Hale forward. So you've really only got the one tall target at the moment. I mean, Gunston's a tallish type player. There's Franklin on the bench, but he doesn't play as a big. So all of a sudden you've got Roughhead in the ruck and you've got no real tall targets forward.
They've got to be saving him for one last burst, Lance Franklin, surely. Hanbury. When do you start that burst? Sean Makers to Hodge. Terrible kick.
Well, he didn't like an option, so he tried to kick a torpedo, and in the end it's a mongrel punt that travels 40 metres straight to the opposition, just losing a little bit of composure, the Hawks.
Parker got it from Mumford. 14 minutes gone, final term. Sean Makers just buffered it under it. Jack wants to keep it in, unsuccessful.
Well, Buddy's back on now. He's had 7 short breaks today, but this man's only played 1.5 games of football in 9 games or 10 weeks, whichever way you want to look at it. So you'd have to doubt whether he can run this game out strong, but he's out there again at full forward.
Pivotal battle of 2012. Top spot there. On offer. Jack to Goods. Crunch. Every contest has been a tough one to win. Lewis, that's from the outset, by the way. It's been at a hot pace the whole afternoon. Grundy the push-off. Smith, terrible kick, but that's what pressure does. Lewis, Mitchell. Bounces it in the Franklin direction. He was half held. Hawthorn fans thought he deserved the free. So does Lance.
And it's going to be tough for Buddy as well, because at the moment it's Grundy just dropping back. So Grundy reads the ball really, really well, and he's also good overhead. So you got Grundy off the back. Here he is here, as you watch Franklin going towards the other end of the ground.
I reckon you'd like to see the Hawks man up
Yeah,
forward.
I think so.
Ellis the sub now on. Franklin up, 3 to beat.
That's a mark.
He's claimed it. He's got it.
Yeah, he got the first touch.
Plays on unselfishly. Opens it up for Suckling. Didn't have the reach. Has he got the poise now? Distance won't be a worry. Lays back on it. Heads toward goal and gets it. Scores level again.
See, that's
a funny little kicky kick.
That's a bloke that knows what he's doing with the footy. He just controlled it. He didn't overkick it. He got his angles right. He loves to kick around the corner. It was a great mark. He was in range, and it's a great option to share it.
Yeah.
But he just missed the target.
Yeah.
And then the ball didn't sit up, and he just weighs it up. He is a finesse kicker.
Yeah, he is. That's a beautiful finish. Yeah, great finish. He certainly knows his capabilities. So now we've got Roughhead coming back onto the ground. Suckling there goes on the headphones, but now we've got Roughhead coming back on, so he may push forward, or Hale might go forward, which will give you, means Grundy's got to play on one of the tools.
Hale to Lewis. Constant attack that Roughhead crumbs it. Back toward goal. This will give them the lead if it scores. And it scores. 1 point game. Everybody takes a breath. Sure.
Gee, that needed to be a really well-weighted kick.
Mitchell, he might want to take this on. Try to. It's a deafening roar at the SCG right now. Big Hawthorn contingent in the crowd. Right from the get-go, it's been at a finals pace.
A lot of it's going to come down to decision-making under pressure now. Who makes the least mistakes? Who handles the ball cleanly? Just hits targets. Keep it simple. Play the percentages. You've got Mumford. In fact, it's Grundy behind the footy at the moment.
Hanbury couldn't get the handball up decisively. And again, there's a tie-up. The umpires give them enormous amounts of time these days.
Come on. This is silly.
It comes a wrestling match.
And this is where you'd like to see, I think, if you don't want to leave that man there, and then it's encouraging the rebound as well. So unless you're dominating the clearances, and they're not, the clearances are all square. That extra, well, there's one extra at each end at the moment.
Well, it's funny that Roughhead's coming up to that stoppage, but he's not the ruckman, so I don't know what he's not a great stoppage player as a midfielder, so it is interesting they've allowed him to go up to the stoppage, and well, he's gone up to the stoppage with Grundy dropping back. So
I thought Hawthorn really got back into the contest in the second quarter when it was one-on-one everywhere. Even so much so that they had 7 forwards and just 5 defenders at the other end.
Both these teams have won 10 of their last 11 games. They're the 2 form teams of the competition. Grundy's kick touched. It'll be a ball in, and it comes down to this. 18 minutes gone, final term. 7:57 left to decide top spot heading into the final round of the home and away season. O'Keefe gets a rest. Young, kick half smothered. Hanbury hard at it. Bird outside of the boot. Goods, 2 to beat. McGlynn. Is it a high tackle? Umpire said keep going, he ducked. Comes up to Kennedy, just gets it on the boot in time. And the Swans steal the lead back.
Yeah, well, that's Kennedy's 35th disposal and a goal, so he's had another outstanding game.
He's only kicked at 44%. He's had 21 contested possessions and 9 clearances. He does his work inside. They've got plenty of numbers around the fall of the ball, Sydney. Gee, that's a good quick snap.
Well, just the follow-up there. We said Kennedy following up, and he's now become you said mentioned contested possessions, but he also spreads as well now, Jace. I mean, he's great inside, and he's able to get outside. Really good handball from Benny McGlynn, and puts the Swans back in front. Great game.
Mitchell steals the takeaway, though. Short, poor kick. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, brilliant. It's a brilliant kick.
That's a mess.
It looked like he didn't quite catch it properly off the boot.
I'll tell you, that was either a poor kick or a really, really, really good kick, Dwayne. But gee, it was a great ball, and look, clearly he meant it.
Yeah.
That was just over the top of what a cracking game.
Don't know that he's been in control of where the ball's going, Lance Franklin, with his kick tonight.
He's got 3. He drives it along. That was never in doubt. Hawthorn by a point.
Centre clearance is critical, Jace. Really critical. And it's been a real strength of Hawks, as we see John Longmire there. He'd obviously be disappointed that last clearance, but look at this here. We've got Mitchell there. Good hit by Hale. Really good clean hands. And a nice ball. Fantastic. And off the outside,
Serious
right
kick,
foot. That is an extraordinarily good kick. And, gee, Buddy really nailed that one as well. So Hawks back in front by a point.
Dwayne, this has been the toughest game of the year, the best game of the year that I've seen. 1 point margin going down to the wire. The Stars have come out to play. Buddy's putting on a show in this last term with no gas in the tank. This has been the game of the year.
Has lived up to all expectations, and it's going to go to the wire.
And look, it's full. The 31,167, the crowd. I mean, it couldn't get any more people in, Jace Wayno. This is a great atmosphere, great game.
And you wouldn't be disappointed, would you?
No, not at all. Fantastic.
Finals preview between the 2 measuring sticks of the competition, and they're turning it on. Have they got another level? Not 15. Jack shrugs his way clear. Hanbury, Malcheski short. Good ball. McGlynn plays on. Goods. Unkind bounce. Flicks it on. Young. Morton right with him. Had a piece of him, keeps it alive. Burgoyne kills it.
Just courageous effort from Gibson there too to salute Adam Goods.
I just want to check that wasn't out in the full there. And now the umpire said, okay, throw it in.
And look at the crowd there. A lot of red and white, edge of the seat stuff. 1 point the difference, Hawks in front.
And it could be a season-defining last 6 minutes for one of these clubs, or maybe for both.
Gee, just attack that with his head, Guerra. I don't know what the person that he runs into, there's nothing he can do.
I think it was the slipper, Jace. I think Pikey might have sunk the slip just to kick off the ground. I think that's what the free kick was for.
It's a 1 point game. We could get a draw yet. Shaw pumps it back to the 50. Guerra has to go and kills it himself. Could have marked it. Took the percentage option.
Just at ground level, Roosie, you can just see Mitch Morton getting a little bit of space here on occasion. I just feel like he's going to be the one. He's the one who looks likely to be able to carve something around the corner and put on the scoreboard.
You can see Alistair Clarkson in the box. He's pacing. He's nervous.
Everyone's pacing. Everyone's nervous.
Hanbury's kick smothered.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those things, King. It might be a Morton that bobs up and kicks a goal because he can find some space, but it'll be the team that's just got a little bit more composure in the back end of the game. Roughhead coming off.
Well, I thought he was going to push forward and keep Grundy honest, but they've changed for a small. Bruce comes on.
Kennedy in the middle of it again. Again, the umpire gives them an eternity. Ellis, the sub on, couldn't make something of it. Mattner does to Hanbury. Good mark,
Good
Sean
hands.
Marcus.
He's
What
had a
about
terrific game, Sean Marcus.
What about
terrific
that?
game. Yeah, great mark.
Let's put some demons to bed tonight. Kick needs to be the equal. Franklin's on the wing. Richards is right with him. Pike. Little fumble from Pike. Brust made it his. Wrapped up. Smith. Splendid tackle, not rewarded. He dropped it and picked it up again. Hodge dragged down. Another splendid tackle, not rewarded. Natives a little restless at the moment here at the SCG. Hawks by a point. Hanbury got it from McLean, missed him on the way back.
Pushing the back against Mitchell.
I think that was Ryan O'Keefe's tackle on Hodge.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a critical tackle.
To Goods. Gibson, and his comeback game's been good. And a free kick to Reid, held off the ball.
Holding! No, Sean!
Oh, gee, that could have been 50.
I don't think he heard the whistle, no.
Oh, gee, I tell you what. That doesn't happen very often, does it?
Umpires are quite often not that kind.
No, absolutely right. And look, I'm glad he didn't pay a 50.
I think he read the moment well, didn't he?
No, I agree. I agree.
Well, he was the only one, Dwayne, at ground level that didn't hear the whistle.
John Longmire's thinking, why is that not a 50?
He's gone, no!
Opens it up to the top of the square. Goods is up. Can't mark it. Morton. We thought it might be a fairy tale. He couldn't get on the boot. Parker. Malcheski doesn't bend it enough, and it doesn't score.
It doesn't score.
Behind would have been just enough to keep them in with a sniff with 4 minutes to go of keeping the ball in their area and levelling the scores. They're still in their area though, Birchall.
They've got to adopt the attitude that they've got to kick another goal or two to win at Hawthorn.
To the wing. Grundy up early. Free kick. Hale.
Advantage.
Franklin's inside 50. Puopolo looks up. Brust. Will he take it on himself? Short pass. Not the required 15. Franklin tries to convince the umpire. Umpire wise to it. Tie up inside 50. It's
Holding the ball. You talk about critical decisions going both ways.
I mean, Bunny didn't read that well, though, did he? That was never going to be 15, that kick. So he did have a chance to give the handball off.
Shaw pumps it along in Morton's direction. He read it well.
Gee, had to turn around, Young, and face the footy.
No one's in the square yet. Still no one there. Now Mumford gets there. Good contest, Gibson. Had to spoil it. And again, the Swans have it in their area. We're down to 3 minutes and 6.
Look at that for an effort from Josh Gibson. Going back with
Here
the
it is
fly.
here. He could have given the handball out to Gunston on the left.
Yeah.
Back into play. It's a 1-point game. Sewell. Schoenmakers. Franklin tunneled a little. Puopolo jumped on, tied up. Smith, Puopolo, both look pleadingly at the umpire. And the one's played.
He does find a way to give away free kicks.
doesn't he?
He gives
He
away
does.
an enormous amount.
Just
of
clumsy ones, aren't
Yeah.
He hands it up immediately. Malcheski pumps it long. Reid up from 4 deep. Couldn't bring it down. Showmakers didn't really get a kick away. Umpire cuts him some slack.
Big chance here for Sydney.
Hanbury
Oh, that is a great effort by Guerra.
just couldn't quite keep it in. McGlynn, Hanbury, O'Keefe, big kick this.
Oh, he
Locked
snagged
them
it.
up. Oh, this is a finals preview. We're going to drone in Honey come September. Swans in front.
If that's the winner, you don't argue. I mean, that is just such a good kick off one step. And
Listen to the crowd. The crowd's going absolutely berserk. Listen to the crowd, the red and white. Here it is here. Great effort. You called it from Guerra. Great effort. But he just didn't have enough juice to get back up again. He's on the deck. Good hands out from Hanbury. And that is a really good finish, Chase, you mentioned.
Quality. Quality. And now Sydney get numbers behind the ball. And that's smart. So Hawthorn have got to push forward. There's no good keeping a heap of numbers behind the footy. They've got to win the stoppage and then try and find a way through all the numbers.
From the ball up, 2 minutes from time.
Well, that's just not something we expected.
Well, centre bounce.
He's broken away. We haven't seen many of those sort of stoppages at all. So he's worked hard, Sewell, tonight, but hasn't had a lot of clean possession, a lot of fumbles early. But that's as important a clearance and, more importantly, a kick as he's ever going to have.
And that's 2 in a row, 2 centre clearances that have cost the Swans. First one goes out to Hodge, Hodge to Burgoyne goal. Second one, great finish, but Sewell, fantastic finish.
Seen some good games this year, perhaps, but this one is off the scale.
Yeah, Dwayne, you mentioned that. They were 38 points down and not looking like it. It was a really good comeback. Full credit to the Hawks. The Swans certainly got off to a flyer, and 38 points up. Hawthorn came back. They stiffened themselves up. Burgoyne, you mentioned, Jace, was one of the best. He had 26 and 3 goals. He had a super game. But some of the other guys, Sewell really started to get involved. I thought Lewis was a fourth-quarter player. And Schoenmakers, who's been under some heat, he was absolutely outstanding down back.
And from a Sydney perspective, Josh Kennedy does what he does every week.
Yeah.
He just dominates inside. He picked up 35 possessions, kicked a goal, 9 clearances. Ryan O'Keefe, it looked like he'd kicked the winner. He did such a superb job. He had 30 possessions, kicked 2 goals. It's been an outstanding match to watch. 2 teams that I'm pretty sure we're going to see plenty of come September. We might head down onto the ground. I think David King's tracked down a bloke that had a pretty important role tonight, Kingy.
Oh, he had a massive day and he's excited too. Sean, what a game.
Oh, unbelievable, you know. We knew Sydney were going to be a tough team. They've been great all year. So we knew it was going to be a 4-quarter game, and we made it hard for ourselves in the first quarter. And we had that confidence going into the halftime break that we could pick them back.
What were you thinking, lining up for goal there? You need to kick the goal to win the game. What was going through your mind?
We've done a fair bit of work on goal kicking this year, and we're just all about your routine. I've had one now for a number of years, and you go through it, and everything, you just blank out. And this practice makes perfect, I guess, because you practice it so much. When you get out here, you can just focus on that.
38 points down at early stages in this game. What was going through your mind, and what does that mean to this team now in terms of belief?
You know, we done it a couple of weeks ago against Geelong where we were down. We got right back in front, and then we obviously lost, and we took great confidence out of that, knowing that when we play our way, we can come back. And it took the 4 quarters, as you've seen the last minute there. But we just know if we can play the game on our terms, and we're good enough to beat anyone.
You love the big games, don't you?
Yeah, not too bad, especially against good teams.
Well done, go and enjoy it.
Thanks for having me.
Hawthorn top of the AFL ladder as it stands right now. They have the West Coast next week. The Swans have Geelong next week. Top of the ladder, the Hawks. From 38 down, the 7-point winners. It's been one of the games of the year.